Good morning and good Erev Shabbos. Thanks for joining the Kila Chari Torah daily review of Maimonides' 613 mitzvahs, Sefer HaMitzvot. We are going through most of the way through the positive commandments at this point, and then we will turn our attention to the negative mitzvot. In the course of Elul, the month of Elul, we are also sounding the shofar each morning, each weekday morning, except for Erev Rosh Hashanah, to remind us that it's time to do tshuva, prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashanah, and repair that which is ready and in need of repair. Next positive commandment that we're talking about is a positive mitzvah of interest. This mitzvah commands us to exact interest from non-Jews to whom we lend money. To demand interest, which we're forbidden to do so, to make a contrast between when we lend money to Jews. The note here says that practically most, I don't know if that means most or most, nearly all, teachers of Jewish law disagree with Rambam with regard to this mitzvah. The view he quotes from the Sifri, is in the first place contradicted by the Gemara, by Shas, by Mitsu, which we usually follow in such cases, and says there is no such obligation upon a Jew to exact interest. In other words, it's an optional thing. It's prohibited than when lending to a Jew, but permissible to charge or to pay interest to a non-Jew when lending money is involved. Next mitzvah, restoring a pledge to a needy owner. We are allowed to take a mashkon, take a deposit, a collateral, to hold when we're lending money to a Jew. However, if the pledge, this piece of collateral that the Jewish owner has furnished us with as a part of the loan, if he's in need of it, for example, the tools of his trade or his occupation, it must be restored to him for the daytime and held in pledge only at night. If it's something that he'll need only at night, an example, he gives a bedding or bedclothes in which he sleeps, you have to restore it to him at night. So it's interesting interplay there. This discussed in the Talmud tractate Bab Metzia. For those of us who are employers, to pay wages on time is also a positive mitzvah, number 200, as we work our way through the 248 positive commandments. This mitzvah commands us to pay our laborer their due. If it's a day laborer, to pay them on time, not to delay it for another day. Of course, if someone's a salaried worker and they're paid per contract, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, or monthly, whatever it is, of course we're allowed to do that. But for a day laborer, we do have an obligation to pay them their due on the day that they work. And we'll just conclude now with this one. An employee should be allowed to eat of the produce among which he is working. By this mitzvah, we're commanded that a laborer has to be allowed to eat in the course of his work the produce which he's working with, provided it's still attached to the soil. So if someone is picking apples in your orchard or harvesting figs, dates, whatever it is, he is allowed to eat those. However, it doesn't work the other way. If he's working among figs, he can't eat the grapes. When he's working among the grapes, he can't eat figs. Only the produce with which he's directly engaged. Okay, we'll pause there and remind ourselves this afternoon about the earliest candlelighting time, 6:55, 5 minutes to 7 now. The clock is on the march, so the earliest time we can welcome the Shabbat is 5 minutes to 7. We will meet this Friday afternoon, tonight. We'll meet tonight at 7 o'clock in the shul for Mincha, followed by Kabbalat Shabbat. We did have a nice minyan last week. Hopefully we will get a minyan this week, so if you can participate, please do so. Happy to see everybody who's able to come. Actual candlelighting this evening is 8:05, so that's the time to light candles this evening to usher in Shabbos, 5 minutes past 8. Tomorrow morning we'll daven in shul. 10 o'clock we'll begin with a slightly abbreviated service as we've been doing throughout the COVID period. We'll start with Nishmat on page 400, 401. We will have a Torah reading and Haftorah and Musaf. Following the conclusion of the Musaf service, Sharona and I would like to invite everyone to our house for a open house Kiddush, luncheon, and Sheva Brachas. We'll be saying the 7 blessings under the chuppah for Moshe and Tzipora, the newlyweds, as is customary to do throughout the 7 days of rejoicing, following the chuppah. So that's going to be from our right around the corner, 37 medalists, from 1 to 3 approximately. Tomorrow afternoon, Shabbos afternoon. So please come by, say l'chaim, have a bite of cholent, wish them mazel tov, and we should get together for simchas. Please God in good health. Please note that we will be observing, as we do in shul, we'll be observing capacity limits physical distancing, and masking for those who are not seated and eating. All right, with that note of local rule, wish everybody a good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, and we'll see you soon in Shul, hopefully.